Hello YouTube, it's Mike here again with the next part of my Reaver Titan video log. Construction has begun basically. All the main body parts, the main body that you get is has all been washed and sorted out and de-warped, etc, etc, and it's all dry and it's ready now. It's all laid out, ready to be built. All the three weapon options I bought, the Gatling blaster and the melter cannon and the missile launcher, is in the soak at the moment. It's having its overnight pre-soak basically, so that's going to be scrubbed up sometime this week and dried and then ready for construction as well. But at the moment I'm concentrating on the body of the Titan. And before I start, I just wanted to sort of go through what sort of glues I'll be using for this build. So we all know about our super glues, and I'm probably talking to the converted here, but just as part of this video log, I thought I'd just speak about it a little bit. I'll be using, I tend to use these super glues. I like the Rocket super glues. No particular reason. It's just that I've always used them, and I like the way they work. So we've got four different types. The Rocket Max, which is a thick, non-runny glue, and it bonds in 10 to 20 seconds. So this will give you some degree of gap filling capability as well. So if you've got some gaps in your resin or plastic, that will fill the gap as well. But it takes slightly longer to bond, so we've got 10 to 20 seconds on the Max there. The next one is the Rapid, which is faster setting, 5 to 10 seconds. Again, it's a medium viscosity glue. And it will give you a little bit of gap filling capability, but not as much as the Max. But again, you get the faster bond time with that one. And then we got the Rocket Hot, which is really thin, really watery, and it will bond within 1 to 5 seconds. I mean, it will glue your fingers together instantaneously. Very runny though. Very liquidy, so it's quite hard to work with actually with the resin, because you squirt it on and it goes absolutely everywhere. So you know, you need to be careful with what applications you're using that one for. And then last but not least, we've got the Rocket Odorless, which is indeed odorless. Doesn't have that nasty super glue smell. And this is a bit more of a specialist super glue. It dries crystal clear, as it says there, and it's foam safe, so you can use it on any sort of foam that you might want to glue. And again, longer bonding time, 10 to 20 seconds, but you can use it on the plastic canopies, like on your Storm Raven and on your Valkyrie gunships. You can glue the clear plastic and it won't mist up like it does with your traditional super glues. And again, like I say, you can super glue foam with it as well. Again, I'm probably talking to the converted, but that's the kind of glues I use for putting together you kind of run-of-the-mill fine cast and your smaller Forgeworld models. So a bit of a moot point really, because I won't be using any of those for this Titan build basically. What I will be using is 2-part epoxy throughout the build. I like DevCon, no particular reason, it's just easily accessible where I live. Epoxy, again, teaching your mother to suck eggs, I'm sure, but for those of you who don't know and haven't got as much experience of building these models, epoxy, generally 2 parts. You get a resin and a hardener, and you mix them in equal quantities and mix them up together, and then depending on what epoxy you've bought, it will go off within a certain period of time. And I've used epoxies that go off in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 3 hours, and longer. Generally, the longer the time it takes for it to go off, the better the bond. And obviously, you've got the advantage of the longer working times as well if you need a longer working time. This epoxy is 5-minute epoxy. Don't need a huge amount of working time with the Titan. All the bits pretty much go together. It's all very well designed, so we don't need a 3-hour setting time on your epoxy. So 5-minute epoxy throughout this build, and a little bit of pinning throughout as well. I mean, this epoxy is strong as anything. In my other hobby, I do high power rocketry, and I've built rockets that are 100 kilos in weight and fly to thousands of feet at half the speed of sound, up to the speed of sound, using this glue, exact glue, and they come back down to earth by parachute, and they're absolutely fine. So I've put a lot of faith in this glue, and it does the job. On the magnets I'm going to use, I've decided I'm going to make all the weapon options interchangeable, basically. So I've got the arm piece. There's a little arm piece that you'll have seen those in the previous videos, and then I want to put a magnet in that section, and then I'm going to embed a magnet into the actual weapons so I can clip them in. So I'm going to be using this glue for that. It's called JB Weld, and this is the Industro pack, which is just a bigger pack. Again, it's 2-part epoxy, and they call it a cold weld. Allegedly as strong as a MIG welded joint, without the need for a MIG welder, and you can obviously use it on different materials. Really strong, really good glue. It will take temperatures of up to something ridiculous, 500 degrees or something. So really strong, and I'll be using that on my magnets. So that's a little bit of glue 101 for the uninformed, but I'm sorry if I bored you to tears there. So what have I done so far? We have got some components to look at. We've got hips and thighs. So we've glued the hip sections in here. Again, I've used the DevCon 5-minute epoxy, and we've glued the thighs onto the hip sections, basically. So, and we've got some piston retainers here. We've got pistons at the back of the knees, so that's that, so you can see. So a bit of super glue under there. I've been doing some mock-up of the poses that I might want to have him in. So that's the hips and thighs so far, and then we've got the actual legs. So that's the backs. All right, so there's the fronts of the legs, and basically we just glued these mounting points on. So these mounting points will hold various pistons that go from here down to the toes. So I mean they're both exactly the same, so we'll just have a look at one. So I've glued the 4 mounting pistons, the 4 mounting retainers in for the pistons. Nice detail work on the back of the leg there, and then we've got the actual leg there, and it just goes on like that. So basically that's your leg joint, really. And obviously you can move it to whatever position you want it to be in. I'm undecided yet as to what position he's going to be in, but you can see here that this retaining one up here, and we've got the other one down here, which is already built in, but there's a piston joint that goes in there, so you've got a joint in the back there. So that's it. That's legs. That's the hips down to the legs. I haven't got the feet out at the moment, but then the feet will go onto the bottom of here, and then you've got your pistons coming down from each of these. So that's that. And then we've got some piston guard bits. Again, you get 2 of each for each leg. I think there's one missing there, but it's there somewhere. Anyway, so these will hold inside a piston. They're all the same, they're just different lengths. So there's an inner one, an outer one, a rear one, and a front one. So a piston goes down there and is ultimately glued into place. And so that's an inner one, so that's the inner side of the leg. So say that'd be that side. So this bit will go on to here with a piston coming out of there glued onto that bit. So you've got kind of leg guard, and then the toe will be down here with more pistons coming up here to sort of encapsulate the toe. So that's that. So we've just glued on basically a little half bit of resin onto the back, so it will encapsulate the piston in there. So we've done all of those. So that's that. And then the last thing we did, or I did last night, was gluing the mounts on for the leg armour. So again, these are all the same. So we've got 2 sets of the same. So we've got 2 sets of leg armour. Oh, sorry about that. My daughter was was wondering what I was up to. Anyway, so we've glued the mounts onto the backs. So again, epoxy all the way. I've glued each mount into the back, and I've filleted all around the mounts, so they're not going anywhere. They're not coming off at all. And as you'll notice, the leg guards there, the leg armour is numbered. So I'll show you how it all goes together really. So you've got two recesses here, which I have lined up, hopefully, with the mounts that I've glued on. So we've got that bit there, and then that bit there, basically. So that's the leg mount. I had to do some filing because this it wasn't fitting very well, so I had to file it back so that all of the 4 mounts fit in those recesses, and that this joins together nicely. I mean, obviously, ultimately, it all gets glued in. I did half think about magnetising it, but I don't think I'm going to bother. I think I'll paint the legs first, and then glue these mounts in, so the leg armour is permanently attached. So you can get some idea of what it's going to look like. There's the back of the leg there, sort of opened up. So that's it basically. That's what we've done so far. So there's one leg, and there's the other leg, all done, all epoxied and filleted as well. Because I don't know, I thought they might come out, but obviously they're not going to go anywhere now. Now it's all been epoxied. So that's it. That's this first construction update. I'm just doing some kind of some little bits really, just to get things starting glued up, and I'll have to commit myself soon and choose a leg position of how I want him posed. So that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I've had a fair few new subscribers join the ride, and which I'm grateful for. Please comment, rate, and continue subscribing. All comments are welcome. Any questions you've got. I mean, I'm by no means an expert, but I do enjoy this stuff, and I think I said somewhere else that I've always got an opinion on something. So, got any questions? Shoot me a message, and we'll do my best to answer them. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next one.